Hello and welcome to all the Virgos. Welcome. This is going to be a video for Virgos for the horoscope of the whole year. So, of course, this will only consider the planets that are far away, starting as from Jupiter until Pluto, and having a look at the houses they are transiting for Virgo and the aspects that are happening. So let's have a look. I think the theme for Virgos for 2013, still not used to it to say that, but I think the theme is pretty much going to be a fulfilling wishes and fulfilling goals that you have been wanting to do for years and years and years. That's going to be the focus of 2013 for Virgos. Why do I say that? Because there are two things that are really important in 2013. That's for all signs, of course. The two things that are happening is, first of all, the continuing of the Uranus-Pluto square. I'll talk about that in a minute. And another thing that is happening is that Jupiter, which is the ruler of your 7th house, the ruler of the house of relationships, is going to trigger the Pluto-Uranus square. So in fact, it's going to make a T-square with Pluto and Uranus. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So Pluto will be for the whole year, will be in that 5th house of yours and squaring up to Uranus in your 8th house. So that was the case last year. It's going to be the case this year as well. But Jupiter is going to play an active role because it's going to transit your 11th house and it will oppose that Pluto in your 5th and squaring up to Uranus in the 8th. Now, that may sound very technical, but what does it mean? First of all, Pluto in the 5th house is the house of your heart. It's the house of your creativity. And it's the house of your self-expression. It's also the house of children. And it's also the house if we want to start our own business and do something for ourselves. That's also the 5th house. So, and Pluto means transformation. Also means there's a little bit of fear considered, but it's quite powerful. So it's transforming you. So you could say by being creative that you are transforming yourself for the better. And it squares up to Uranus in the 8th house. And Uranus is, of course, all about freedom, of freeing yourself up. And the 8th house is a house of transformation also. So it's the house of getting rid of our fears, because our fears are there, but with the Pluto-Uranus square, it means that we have to face them. So a lot of Virgos are facing their fears and are doing that through being creative in a way and by showing who they really are, by express themselves. Now naturally a Virgo is quite how would I say, doesn't want to be in the spotlight. I mean, not all Virgos, but some Virgos are, let's say most of the Virgos really don't want that. And with that focus on the 5th house, actually this is asking of, still, if you don't like it, just you have to be a bit in the spotlight. That's actually the story for Virgos. And so the whole year, these two planets are going to be in a square in those houses. Now, something happens around July, August, so it's a building up. March, April, and so on, and July and August is this very interesting period for everyone. Why is that? Because Jupiter is going to shift sign. Now Jupiter has been last year in your 10th house and is still going to be there until June of 2013. And I know you Virgos want the details. So I didn't look up the exact day, but I'm going to do that for you. Jupiter changes signs the 27th of June, and it's going to enter Cancer. So until, let's say, the first half of the year, it will still be that expansion, considering work or considering your status, your social status that you want to expand. So that will still be going on, and having Jupiter, the planet, the big benefit in your 10th house means that there are possibilities for Virgos, especially from January until June, that date, to have a new job, to look for a new job, or to look for a promotion, or to expand. So that really is an opportunity time for Virgos if you want to change your job. Now, and then it shifts into your 11th house, that Jupiter, that planet of meaningfulness, that planet of expansion. And the 11th house is all about your wishes, and it's all about your goals, and it's all about what you want to achieve in life in long term. So if Jupiter touches that 11th house, and don't forget, in its exaltation, so Jupiter really loves to be in Cancer. It is exalted there, so it means it can do a lot of good. And so it's going to trigger the Pluto-Uranus square, because Jupiter in the 11th, also in the house of Friends, is going to oppose that Pluto and squaring up to Uranus. What does this all mean? First of all, it means that Jupiter in the 11th house, you will gain meaning of understanding your life better through friends and through goals that you are going to set up for yourself. That's one thing. That's nice to have an expansion with like-minded people, actually. So I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of Virgos are going to be more social, to be more belonging to certain groups that they feel good with, a group that they feel a part of, and it doesn't matter what. And it has to do with that 5th house, it has to do with self-expression. So a lot of Virgos will achieve what they have been wanting for years and years, considering their own creative expression and considering their long-term goals. That's very general. Now, of course, this Jupiter, very exalted Jupiter, opposing Pluto, is a challenging aspect because it's an opposition. So, first of all, what does the aspect mean? If we mix Jupiter and Pluto, what do we get? We get power and meaningfulness. We get power and spirituality. We get power and hope, actually, and expansion. So this isn't a negative thing. On the contrary, it means that you have an opportunity to get very powerful and effective considering your goals. So for a lot of people around that time, June, July, August, they're going to achieve something. And a goal can mean anything. It can mean something that you wanted to do for years and years. It can mean having a child, because the 5th house is also children. It can mean that you're going to start your own business and that you're going to expand, because the 11th house is also the money that you get from the 10th house, your work. So it could be the case as well. But it's an opposition, so it's challenging, and it means, why is it going to be challenging? It's only going to be difficult if you are too egocentric. Now, I think Virgo is one of the least signs that I think that is very egocentric. Of course, you will always have people who are Virgos who are very egocentric, but I think most of them aren't. So I think you will do fine. So if you do that, if you consider other people's opinion, because it's the 11th house, it's of other people, it's of other people's thoughts, and you know, the people that we attract who are like-minded. But there's also a challenge in getting along with these people and in getting power. So I think Virgos, it's also showing that doing things together with a friend or a group of friends can also help you to expand and to achieve that goal that you want. Now, another thing before that, I think around July as well, there is Neptune trining that Jupiter. So Neptune will be in your 7th house for the whole year, around 1, 2, 3 degrees. No, what am I saying? 1, 2, 3 degrees? Yes, around that, a bit more during the year, but it goes retrograde every now and then. What does it mean? It means especially for the Virgos who have an ascendant in Virgo between 1 and 5, 6 degrees of Virgo, they will sense that Neptune opposing them. So the 7th house is the one-to-one relationships and that we have. So for a lot of people, it's the relationship that they have with that special person. And that special person could be at times or being very spiritual in the best case, but mostly there's a bit of mist around it, and there's a bit of that you can't pin them down. And for Virgos, that's a bit difficult. But the trick is to try to work with that Neptune instead of working against it and wanting to be very analytical. So if you go with the flow a little bit, that will do you well that will do you good as well. And that Neptune is going to trine that Jupiter in the 11th. So it means that also friends are going to come into your life who are a bit Neptune-like, but who are really going to expand your mind and helping you with achieving your goals a lot, and you helping them as well. That's a beautiful trine, a beautiful water trine that is going on in the 11th house and in the 7th house. So a lot of interesting stuff going on. And the Mercury retrograde, that's something that I want to mention as well. There are going to be, because Mercury is your ruler, there are going to be 3 Mercury retrogrades, and all in water signs. The first one is from the 24th of February until the 18th of March. Mercury is going to be in your 7th house retrograde. So around that time, you're going to think about your relationships, reconsidering them. And it's a good time for reflecting upon that. And then around June and July, which is that very important time for you, of the possibility to achieve your goals, Mercury is going retrograde in the 11th house in Cancer. So I think it will start with a reflection, with a couple of weeks of how will I achieve this and how will I work this out. So it's very much, it's a very nice puzzle for Virgos. And then the 22nd of October until the 11th of November, it's going to be retrograde in Scorpio. And that is your way of thinking. So where Saturn is as well. So for the whole year, Saturn is going to be in Scorpio in your 3rd house. And that's the way that you think. And the way that you think will be serious, I guess, with Saturn over there. It's sextiling Pluto in your 5th. So the sextile between Saturn and Pluto is so beautiful. It means hard work when it comes to thinking, communicating and self-expression. It means hard work, but it also means that you're going to have fruition of this hard work and of the serious thinking that you're doing. And probably you're going to express yourself quite powerful in a communicative way towards people, that people see you as a serious person, as someone that they can trust, but also someone that can change things. So wow, this is it for the Virgos, for of course in a very general look. I'm not going to talk about the eclipses because it's not really in your sign or important. Just checking if I haven't forgot anything, and I don't think so. So, you Virgos really do enjoy 2013. I think it's going to be a year for the Virgos with way more accomplishing. So, way more accomplishing considering your goals and your aspirations, and that's a good thing. Wish you all the best. Bye bye. Thank you.